Okay, this is a brief introduction to PowerPoint. We're going to start by creating a new presentation. We go up here to the File menu and we say New, and we want a blank presentation. Okay, here we have a blank presentation. One of the things about PowerPoint is that they use a lot of templates. Here's a simple template which starts out for the title of our slide and Intro to PowerPoint. And all students should know this. Okay, then what we'll do is we'll go over here, and I did a right click and new slide. It might be different for those of you that are using Macintoshes. Okay, one of the first templates that comes up is a very simple bulleted list template. So this is a title that says Topics to Cover. And the topics we want to cover are bulleted lists, images, drawing basic shapes. And then I'm going to tab, and among our basic shapes we want ellipses, which I'll probably spell wrong, rectangles, and arrows. We want to catch all of those. We want to know how to create new slides, which we've already done, so we'll delete that. You'll see that as you go along. And how to show the presentation. Okay, so I've started out and I have created a slide. I click here, and what you see is exactly what the slide's going to look like. What you see over here on the left is a list of my slides. Click on this one, it goes back to my intro title. Click on this one, it goes back to the topic slide I just created. You periodically want to save these. I can go up here and say save, or what I write down, it's going to ask me where I want to save it. I'll just put it on my desktop. Okay. The other thing I regularly do is just Control S. Control key and an S as in save, and that does the trick for me. Alright, let's make a new slide here. I can do the control right click and do the new slide, or I can just go up here and say new slide, either one. Now this time what I want to do is I want to add an image to this, and I don't actually want this template that they've laid out for me. So I did a right click here. Let's see, I want to do a right click here, and I'm going to come down here to layout, and it's got a whole bunch of layouts for me, which I can see here, and I want the blank one. Okay, so now there's no layout information here. It's just the stuff I want. Just blank so I can do what I want. Now I'm going to go insert, and I say I want a picture. And here are some sample pictures I can look at. It's just basically a web browser. I mean, not a web browser, but a file browser, so you can go anywhere. I'll pick this one. There's my picture. I'll shrink it down here. Put it right there. Okay, so there I have a nice picture. If we look over here, we see what the slide's going to look like. Now let me go on here and click Home, and I'm going to go over here to Drawing, and this right here is a piece of text. And so I will go here and say this is Southern Utah. Looks like I misspelled that. What I'm going to do is go down here and do a zoom. There's my problem right there. And I want some bigger text, so I'll make this bold, and I will hit up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, down arrow. Or I could just select, let's just go right to 48 here. Okay, now that text, if I click on this border, I can drag that text, put it anywhere I want. Let's zoom back out so I can see my whole slide. Okay, so I can drag that around, put that anywhere I please. Okay, one of the things we're going to be doing a lot in this class is we're going to be doing a lot of diagrams, sketching of things and how they lay out. So, new slide here. And I will go over to drawing and I will say I really would like this rounded rectangle right there. And I'm just going to start typing in here and say, call this, move that out of the starting. And I will select all of that and make it bigger so we can read it. Okay, I don't really like that blue thing there, and that white text, so I'm going to get me some black text. I'm going to go over here back to this drawing area and say I want to change the shape fill to be something in a really start. Now that's a little too loud for me. So I'll go more fill colors. It'll open over here. And I can select my color like this. There we go. I think I like that better. Alright, continue with my drawing. Let's do an ellipse. And I can also type here. I can type next step. I will select all of that text and I will make it bigger. And if I go back to my drawing now, or I should say I go back here, it's saved the last text color, so I can just go there. If I go to drawing, it's saved the last fill color, I can just go there. And it's back the way it was. Okay, so I've got rounded rectangles, I've got ellipses, I've actually got a lot of shapes here. I've got regular rectangles, I've got triangles, I've got the ability to draw, I've got many things here. What I actually want to do here is I want to go to the arrows. Okay, so I'm going to make an arrow. Notice it's highlighted these contact points. And it's highlighted these contact points. I'll go to drawing and say I want the shape to not be blue, I want it a nice solid black. And go back to drawing. I says I want this shape to have a darker weight. There we go. Now, when I grab this, because I connected to those attachment points, this thing is going to stick. This thing is going to stick wherever I put it. Okay. So what I've got is I've got a basic presentation created out of 4 slides. I drew some shapes, I connected them with arrows, I put some text in, I adjusted the text size. I've got lots of different shapes I can use, other kinds of things, drawing lines, creating lines that connect in various ways. I can also, if I desire, turn these things around. Create a nice little pointing arrow there. All kinds of shapes that I've got available to me. Now when I'm done, I can come down here where it says slideshow. First I want to select the first slide in my show, select slideshow, and it appeared. It actually appeared on the screen off to my right, which you can't see, but I can step through that with my arrow keys and show every one of my slides. There's your basic introduction to PowerPoint.